Well, hello, this is Rochelle and welcome to my channel. It's been quite a while that I've been doing these kind of washy walls, and today I decided to do paper strip walls. So I'm picking out a few of the pattern papers, and this beautiful collection really is so versatile in the sense that you don't have to necessarily use it just for Christmas, but it does have a lot of beautiful Christmas colors in it, and you can use then strips of paper if you don't want a full-on Christmas layout. I'm journaling in Matthew 16, where Jesus says, "Come, take up your cross and follow me." Leaving everything else behind. So I've said this before a few times. We so often think we should come to the Lord all prepared and all clean and all good by ourselves, and that's not what the Lord is expecting of us. He's really just asking of us to come, to bring whatever it is that we are hanging on to and that we follow Him. So I want to do this little page with these beautiful colors really as just a background. I'm loving all the colors and all the patterns. I'm using a Prima knife or craft blade. It is kind of cushy on my fingers, but I'm looking for a cushier one, so that'll still come. Getting my interleaved Bible ready so that I could put my strips down there, and I am gonna tear them towards the middle so that I can, one, line them up perfectly with the edge, but number two, so that I have enough folding room for the center or the binding of this Bible. It is getting quite chunky and quite fat, so it is becoming more difficult to close it. So I have decided to give it some space and leave this torn kind of edge on the end or towards the middle binding of this page. And I'm really just taking some craft glue and sticking it down there on the strip and on the torn piece, and making sure that it kind of lines up. Now if I cut straight, this should work fine. But let's see. I think I kind of cut a ruler breadth when cutting these strips. So yes, just making sure that I don't have too much kind of repetition. I do want it to look random. Your cross and my cross is different, it's not the same, so I did want there to be some sort of randomness to this pattern. That's the method behind my madness. And it does go over just a sliver, and so I'm just going to turn that over and cut it off with my scissors. Now once that is done, I'm going to apply some, these are called Xtreme Sheen paints, also by DecoArt, and I quite like the color of this. It's really like a pearlescent color, so it just adds a lot of bling and mutes down the color of the paper somewhat so that it looks more like a coherent kind of layout and not just strips of paper. Okay, so it's really for the shine, the bling, and then to just knock it back a little bit so that whatever I do on top of it will stand out a little bit more. I would have liked for it to be more like the kind of gold champagne extreme sheen, but I didn't have that on hand, so I used the pearl white sheen, and in the end I kind of think it works just fine. I'm going to take a DecoArt also has a glaze, a metallic glaze, and I'm going to take that kind of, I've got a old patina color, so it's kind of greenish sort of, and I'm going to add that into the mix as well, just to knock it down a little bit further and make sure that it is muted down sufficiently and shiny sufficiently, because obviously it is Christmas, so we want all things bling and beautiful colors. Making sure to write down what I need so that when I have to do this video talk back or whatever, that I would be able to give you the accurate descriptions. And so here's where I pick up that green, and it's really just kind of bringing this whole page into one, like it kind of brings it together so that you don't think it's separate strips of paper, but that it really is kind of one page all together. And I'm quite happy with how that worked out. yeah, so it's called Old World Patina Metallic Glaze, and that's also by DecoArt. Next up, I am going to take my stencil and some of the Stamperia gold paste. I think this is the shimmer paste or whatever it's called. I'll put that down in the description box below. And I'm taking the stencil with the footprints, because obviously I'm talking about coming after Jesus or following after Jesus, and so I thought that I would symbolize that with footprints. And yes, I know these footprints have the cutest initials on them. That isn't Jesus Christ, it is Santa Claus, but nonetheless it is precisely what I want. I am drying in between, so just putting a serviette over my dried already stenciled material so that I can carry on towards the top and finish those stenciling off there. Can be a messy business, so make sure that you clean off your stencil regularly so that it doesn't dry and sit into the fine corners of your stencil. Next up, I want to write my title, and obviously I want it to be Come Follow Me, and I'm using this Dr. P.H. Martin nickel color, and in the end it didn't show at all. So even once dry, it didn't stand out, it didn't pop, nothing. So you'll watch me write it with my oblique pen, but it doesn't stand out on this page at all. So I am going to have to make a plan with that. It's not a train smash, and to a degree it does kind of add a little bit of bling to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my white gel pen and kind of just go over the outlines once this is dry and done. And then I'm just going to give it that white outline, which will then make it pop a little bit. I'm using a Uniball Signo gel pen. You do want to make sure that you use the thicker one as well. For any white gel pen, you want a thicker one, because the thin ones have trouble with the ink coming out, so that doesn't always work as well. So I've outlined that, and it just stands out way better for me. I'm going to take my little ribbon that comes with this box, and I'm going to make a bookmark using some Olde glue, but first measure so that there's a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to stick it down with Olde on the edge, making a little loop through that little key sentiment. It is the key to come and follow after Jesus, and then making that little loop. I'm just sticking it down with Olde. Olde sticks once it's done, so doing the same at the top, just making a little loop but without sticking anything through it, putting down little roses on top of it so that that can stick out at the bottom. At first I wanted to just kind of leave it loose there, but I think I'm going to stick it down with some strong double-sided tape. I'm using the red double-sided tape to stick that down into the margin, and then making sure that it won't move. So just putting that both edges of the ribbon and then peeling it off and sticking down my ribbon. I do kind of peel it off in one spot first so that I can stick it down, and then if I do need to absolutely still move it, I do have that option or ability, and then I pull it straight along the line. I am going to write just my prayer there, that I really want to come and follow hard after Jesus, and I'm also stamping my date and using one of the stickers on the one corner there. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.